guys, welcome back. I thought it would be fun to start working on my first Copic Club box from Artful Angel. So I have the stamp that came with it here, and I am going to stamp that out and then sort of walk you through the various blends I'm probably going to use today, and then I'll probably fast forward the coloring stuff just so that this doesn't turn into a really long video. I am using Nina 110, which is sort of my go-to everything paper currently. I do have a good chunk of other coloring papers to try, including, oh, I guess we should say, what is this? This is Fashionistas from CC Designs. I'm going to actually use the one with the polka dots because that's the one this month's instructions talk about. So we shall see how that goes. Oops. We didn't get too dust on that or anything. It also comes with another fashionista in a fuzzy little hat, which also looks like she'd be fun. I feel like these pair really well with the Scrappy Tales Jador collection, if you guys remember that, which I made way too many Valentine's Day cards with. But I've been using two inks pretty interchangeably. Memento Tuxedo Black, which is Copic Safe, and also Ink on 3's Blackout. Blackout is a hybrid ink, and I think this is a pigment ink. But I could be wrong. But a lot of inks are not Copic Safe, so that's generally why I've been using those two. I've had good results with both. I think Memento is the one that I see people talk about the most, so I will use that today. But Ink on 3, I've been pretty impressed with their products to date. And usually with the Memento, I find it takes a couple, actually this came out really well, but usually I do 2 to 3 stamps with this. Just because I feel like these inks tend to not, I don't know, at least to my taste, they're not quite as dark as like, I don't know, my favorite, which is Catherine Pooler Midnight right now, which I like for, just sort of standard stamped cards. That looks pretty good. I can definitely see the lines on it. Sometimes with coloring, depending on if you want the lines to be really visible or not, you may or may not want to use a crazy amount of ink on it. I am just going to use my ink off to get the black ink off of that stamp and grab a cloth here quick and clean up the door on my MISTI, which I used for basically all my stamping. I actually have another semi-related tool to try. It's more of a stenciling tool, but it's the new Sizzix one that they released earlier this year, I think. And I haven't really been doing that much stenciling. Although I did do stenciling on a card that I didn't film recently. But, I do like layered stencils, and I have a couple neat ones. I actually had a bird stencil, so I probably should have used that for Craft Roulette, but in any event, it's important when coloring to make sure the ink is dry and that you don't randomly put your magnet in a stupid place. Although, obviously, they sell replacements on those. I will say my Copic selection is quite limited at present. These three are the colors that came in the kit, which are these guys. And as you can see, like, a lot of them don't quite match the cap color, so swatching out is always a good idea. This is also on Nina, just so that we have a sense. So basically, the VO6 and the EO4 are very close on this chart, which means they blend pretty well. Basically, the VO6 is the dark tone, the EO4 is the highlight, and then the RV21 is the, EO4 is the mid-tone, and then this is the highlight. And generally, the instructions that came with this. Oh, you might be curious why I have two random blues, and they are right here. Because Bad Decisions Me decided to do a lot of shopping on Violetta Inc. after seeing some really cool videos with really cool blends. So, um, I've been using the Uhuhus because I've swatched those already, but basically I will probably be unboxing and organizing and swatching Copics at some point. Which, if you're interested in seeing me do that, let me know. It's certainly something it would be fun to sort of talk through, but also might not be all that interesting to watch. This feels pretty dry. The Memento particularly dries really fast. I think the Blackout does as well. But unfortunately, we have hair and skin to deal with, so I'm going to actually use blends I was using this weekend on the live stream. This is R18, R20, and R29, which you can actually swap out the R18 for the warm gray zero point 0.5 if you want a more less vibrant sort of skin tone. And then I'll probably use the skin blend, the hair blend that I was playing around with this weekend as well, which is Y2, Y3, and Yellow Red 2, which is probably some sort of like heresy to use like non-Copic colors in the Copic coloring video, but hey. And here we go. I like how this came out. I do like the purple sort of highlights. I did find this a little tricky to color because it's a fairly detailed image. Um, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. I'd like to probably try it about 15 more times to like get really good at it. I did find kind of getting, and I don't know if it's because I didn't use enough of the earth, but the violet um, really kind of still stays violet. I was looking at sort of the reference drawing where it kind of does that. I think like it's blended out a little bit more. I think mine are more. I think if I had used more of a flicky stroke, it probably would have worked. And I do want to go back with a gel pen and just sort of make the polka dots white again. But I'm going to do that. And this was a fun experiment. I do like how as you can see, this turns into a pretty warm skin blend. Um, so if you like that, you can use that, or you can knock it down. I've been tending to knock it down in most of the greeting farm things I've been coloring, just because I don't know, the scene seemed a little not super vibrant. I mean, I feel like I would go with a more like a vibrant skin tone if I was doing like summer or something. And I really like how this worked out on the hat. Actually, like it looks really. You can see sort of how the blend potentially would have gone, and like, well, it did kind of. I don't know. You can see how people like these because they're a lot more controllable than um, sort of the juicier markers like the hoo-hoos. So I don't know. I'm definitely a fan of the Copics now. I want to try working with them a little bit more to get a little bit better at the whole blending thing. But no, this was pretty fun. I will post the final image somewhere for you guys to take a look at, just to see sort of like how this turned out from a beginner. And the one thing I didn't mention is like this is like weirdly positioned right on here, but usually I just scan and cut these things out anyway. So I'll definitely use her as a focal piece on something I think in the future. It definitely seems very like French in inspiration to me. But anyway, thanks for checking it out, and let me know if you guys find coloring videos interesting, because if so, it's been the thing I've been spending some time doing, so it would be pretty easy to record them for y'all.